Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today on the Solano College Sports Network. I'm Tony Dehzad. I'm joined here today with Brian, Cesar, and Zion. So our discussion today, we're going to talk about the passing of Kobe Bryant and his legacy. So, Brian, I'd like to start off with you. How did you hear the news first, and what was your reaction?
Yeah, well, so with something like that, you would think you would see a lot of news outlets posting about it, a lot of credible news outlets posting about it, and, have a lot of different articles to read. But, I was at work with my coworkers. One of them's a male. We were talking sports, ironically, when it happened, and the other one was a female, and she was, on her phone. And she broke the news to us, just came up to us and said, "Hey, did you guys hear? Kobe Bryant passed away." And, our immediate reaction was no, shut up. LeBron just passed him last night on the all-time scoring list. It's stop lying, da-da-da-da, right? And she was like, "No, look." And it was a post from TMZ, and we couldn't believe it. So we started, surfing to the web on our phones, and we couldn't see nothing on Bleacher Report, ESPN. So we're like, what the heck is this? So I'm left in the dark. I'm having goosebumps and I'm getting chills because that's a sick joke. I text my brother Cesar, who's a big Laker fan, and he doesn't know anything about it. Throughout the day, I'm just left in the dark until more news posts comes out, and I don't know what to think. I'm not just shocked, and I just didn't know what to think the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, a player, especially like Kobe Bryant, just a legendary player on a big market team, and you hear news like that. I know I didn't think it was real. I bet a lot of people do too. I mean, you'd think maybe someone just made it up, but yeah, it's real hard to believe still. What about you, Cesar?
Well, yeah, I found out, like you said, like Brian said, he texted me. I was also at work in the morning, and disbelief was my initial reaction. TMZ, being the website it was reported on, made me question it even more.
It's not really credible.
That's not a good website to be. And selfishly, I wanted it to be fake all day. I didn't believe it. And then you get reports that his daughter's on the plane. False reports that all of his daughters are on the aircraft. So just utter disbelief, and then it hits. So then I'm filled with tears, watching all these NBA players react to it. Then break down. How can I not break down? Like you said, I'm a huge Laker fan, and just disbelief and not wanting it to be real.
Yeah, this is really hard to believe. What about you, Zion?
Yeah, like they said, I just in disbelief, and I felt a wide range of emotions throughout the day. Just not believing it at first, and then seeing the tributes on social media from players, and just getting really emotional, and also realizing that his daughter Gianna was also on the helicopter, and just it was really, really tragic. But also I think I tried to think of something positive, and realize that he is with his daughter, and he was able to comfort her, and just knowing that they're in a good place and that we can celebrate their lives for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good way to put it. So how did Kobe impact each one of you? We'll start back with you, Brian.
I'll admit I wasn't the biggest Kobe Bryant fan to begin with in basketball, because my favorite basketball team is the Dallas Mavericks. The Western Conference team, and they were Kobe and the Lakers and Dallas Mavericks early 2000s. They battled for top 5 supremacy, top 3 supremacy in the league, and so I always feared when our team played Kobe Bryant because he was such a good player. And I credit that to his determination, because you've seen the reports and stuff how hard he was on his teammates, and if they showed up late to practice and they showed up hungover, whatever it was, right? Kobe Bryant was hard on them. And he was hard on himself, and practiced hard. I wanted to be the best. He admittedly wanted to be the best, wanted to be better than Michael Jordan. And, and I always took that, as I wanted to apply that to myself. Anything I do, any kind of sports I do, school, anything, I wanted to continue on and just do the best I can. And I was credit to him because I always looked to the best players. You got to respect, the greatness of great players, even if you don't, they're on your opposing team or whatever. But Kobe Bryant's just mentality and the way he just wanted to be the best, I always, related to that. And I definitely, Kobe Bryant's career makes me want to do the best I can. And, what more can I say? That dude just was the hardest worker, and I always wanted to be the same.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just no matter your thoughts or your views about Kobe, I mean, you have to respect just how great he was at his job and, what he, how he went about his career was really something. What about you, Cesar?
Well, yeah, he inspired me. I wanted to be like him, play basketball. He's the reason why I tried out for teams. Middle school, high school, I wanted to shoot like him, wanted to play his position. And so he inspired me to go out and get things that I normally wouldn't. I was shy as a kid, still am. But he helped me, thinking about him, especially now after this, trying to do everything just a little more for him.
Yeah.
I kind of touched on it a little bit in the broadcast. Just I admired his passion, his hard work, and his love for the game. He loved basketball, and everything he did, he gave 110%. Even winning an Oscar for Dear Basketball, just always trying to get better as a player during his career, and his post-retirement, just being a good father and being a good husband and just doing everything the right way. I think he had a major impact on everyone. I mean, growing up, everyone, when they were shooting something in the trash can, they'd say Kobe, that was just something that everyone did. And I loved everything that he did and during his career, and just was an inspiration to many people.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part about Kobe Bryant's game, Brian?
Like I said earlier, I always feared playing Kobe Bryant, when Dallas was facing the Lakers, because Kobe was just the perfect player, He was, they say Michael Jordan is the greatest player, and, whether or not, your arguments are for or against, but he was the same height, even a little taller, large wingspan, super athlete, and he can do it all on the court. He can shoot from anywhere, fade away, is unguardable, athletic enough to dunk on your big man. So it's you gotta just have your best long defender stop him from dropping 50 or 60 on you. And being a Mav fan, I know Zion can, I've probably seen these old highlights and stuff, and Kobe dropped 62 and 3/4 against Dallas, outscored them. The epic 2011 playoff series in the playoffs, when they were defending champions, and just every time they stepped on the court, it seemed like Kobe just wanted to really just take it to Mark Cuban and Dallas and Dirk. And I remember just him just hitting so many tough shots. How does he rise up and hit a fadeaway 3-pointer and hits it with nothing, and he doesn't even smile, just goes back? And so it's just his all-around game. He can pass too. A lot, people say Kobe doesn't pass, but he averaged 4 or 5 assists for his career. And his mentality to just going to go out there and just get the W at by any means necessary. And he was just the perfect player.
Yeah, he was a winner. He just knew how to win. What about you, Cesar?
Like he brought up, he got a bad rap as a teammate sometimes for being hard on his teammates.
Yeah.
And pretty shamelessly, I'll say, I'm a Kobe stan. He can do no wrong for me. I always defended him. We got many arguments for it, me and Brayan. But I think I took for his ability to make difficult shots in big moments. Fadeaway threes, long twos, crazy acrobatic layups, dunks early in his career. I couldn't get enough of it. And I know for me, I try to emulate it every time I stepped on the court. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got into a lot of arguments over that because, when Dallas and Lakers played, obviously he is Lakers and I'm Dallas fan, and like I said, when the ball it was a close game and Kobe had the ball in his hands, I'd be throwing the remote on the ground because I didn't want Kobe to take that shot because I knew it's gonna be bad for Dallas, and historically we'd never had the best defense, and you need the best defense to stop even have a chance at stopping Kobe. So,
Right.
Yeah.
What you on?
Yeah, I think he just, like you said, was just always coming up big, and what I loved about his game is that he was going to take that last shot. He wasn't going to let anyone else take it. It was going to be Kobe Bryant in the last few seconds. And I think, you guys had the arguments. It I weird now to have that talk if you're going to talk about Kobe, LeBron, MJ. I think now it's something that just kind of needs to be put to rest and just appreciate what each player did in their eras and the impact they had on the game. But yeah, I admired his athletic ability early on in his career and making adjustments as he got older. He lost some of that bounce, but he still could hit those tough shots. That's personally just what I loved about him.
And it's too, how you mentioned, just put that debate to rest, and it's we just need to appreciate the greatness, because nowadays we have all these greats coming up, future legends, I will say, Luka Doncic, Devin Booker, Brandon Ingram, all those guys, and to name a few. And who have they gone to work with? Among others, Kobe Bryant, because they're about the same size as Kobe, and they want to work with Kobe Bryant because he had such an impact on the game, and they know that he was a winner. 5 championships speak for themselves, and I think that's just credit. Even everybody recognizes it. Other athletes recognize his impact, and what we had to say our part, what we liked about his game. But even other athletes who've been playing basketball their whole lives recognize that, and they seek out Kobe for advice and input, and what can I do better here. And I think that's just that just shows you right there, what he means to not just us as fans, but even the players who are his fans as well. Some of them played against, some of them grew up watching. They're in the NBA now too.
And he was always willing. You hear about Michael Jordan. I mean, I didn't get to watch him, but Kobe is always willing, or he was always willing to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown,
and Kyrie. They said they had that
Giannis,
yeah,
Kyrie, always willing to train these people, even though they're not Lakers, for example. So that was great about him.
Yeah, I think I really felt for the players that were just. I mean, they had to play a game that day.
And you saw Tyson Chandler, that's the one that really hit me, when Tyson Chandler was on the bench and his face was just I don't want to be here right now.
Yeah.
That one.
It was really difficult. I mean, it still is difficult for these players, and seeing LeBron and how emotional Kyrie Irving. But another thing too is we've just seen a lot of great performances from Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, Chris Middleton. Just I think playing for Kobe, and I really felt very sorry for these players that had to go through, that are still recovering. I mean, it's still something that they're trying to accept and move forward with.
And before we move on to the next question, Tony, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
You know what? And the players, and you had mentioned it in your in the previous broadcast in basketball. Just tell a loved one, you love them and all that. Don't wait. The one, the player that ex-player that really, it really hit me, and I really actually teared up for this guy because I always loved, Shaquille O'Neal. When he was on the panel with Dwayne Wade and the rest of the crew, and he was tearing up on camera. This big 7'2", near 300-pounder guy, most dominant center, and he's crying on camera, talking about he played with Kobe for all those years, won those championships, and he's crying on camera, and he's talking about he hasn't spoken to Kobe since Kobe's last game when he asked Kobe to drop 50, and Kobe dropped 60, being the Mamba mentality that he has, dropped 60, and he said I need to reevaluate my life, because that one hit me, because it's you can even if you're not a basketball fan, you can apply that to your own life, because how many times do we get stuck in a rut just go through the motions of school, work, home, and days go by, weeks go by, and it's, you know what I mean? Now it's 2020, we're already in February, and it's kind of like, you know, maybe we got to stop and, you know, enjoy, you know, a little bit of, you know, friends we have and, you know, what we have going on, you know, whether that be, you know, you play sports here at Solano, you have a class you like, you know, just enjoy it.
That's kind of why, just to end it, I'm sorry.
Very good.
It's kind of why the world is taking it so hard. This is not normal for like a celebrity death. For example, you got these up-and-coming rappers dying for drug overdoses or something like that, or is it depression where they find a celebrity found dead? This isn't Kobe found dead. He was in the peak of his life. He had just won an Oscar for Dear Basketball. Seemingly, he was going to attack his second career as hard as he attacked his first career.
Yeah.
And that's why the world is, I feel like, is taking this completely different.
Yeah, and I saw that too. The Kobe or the with Shaquille O'Neal with I think the Inside the NBA group together, and you know they're always joking around, but yeah, that was tough. You know, I mean, I can't imagine just how that must have hit Shaq. I mean, playing with him for so long, and you know, we often heard that maybe they didn't have the best relationship or whatever it may be, and yeah, that was hard to see. He was very emotional, and I understand. I mean, I can't imagine really what that would be like. But so the last question here I want to ask is just what was your guys' favorite Kobe Bryant moment? We'll start with you over here, Zion.
My favorite moment. There's so many. I mean, you look through his career, it's hard to find one, but I think for me it was his last game. I watched it again when they aired it on ESPN on Monday, the day after his death, and I mean, it was just remarkable to watch. I mean, unlike any other game that we've seen from a player in their final game of their career, it just showed you why everyone loved Kobe Bryant. I mean, he could go out there and he dropped 60 points, and that was my favorite moment. Even though it was his last moment with in his NBA career, it was unreal to watch, and just a great way for him to go out. Definitely.
Yeah. What about you, Cesar?
So like he said, that moment is super special to me. But to make it a little different, I think my moment is in 2013. We're fighting to get to the playoffs. We have Dwight Howard, Steve Nash. The hype didn't go as well as we expected. But the game he tears his Achilles, he walks back in. He shoots those 2 free throws with a torn Achilles, cans them, and he gets helped off. And that just, speaking about Mamba mentality, that is the utter representation of Mamba mentality.
That doesn't give you goosebumps, like you saying it gave me goosebumps, because that's like epic toughness. A torn Achilles, and you're walking on it and you shoot the free throws.
It's a grown man. Yeah.
That was I was in shock that he was able to pull that off. It was unreal.
What about you, Brian?
Man, I have a lot of Kobe moments that I definitely enjoyed just watching. I can't say I have a particular favorite one. The final game when he scored 60 comes to mind. His 81-point game. If you're a basketball fan, go back and watch that one against the Raptors. And when he was that run he had in 2013 when he was trying to will him to the playoffs, come to mind against Dallas. The playoffs are the big shots he hit, but a lot of my favorite Kobe moments actually happened like kind of off the court when he was on the sidelines. And to name a few, when Dallas and Lakers played, when the Lakers admittedly weren't so good, you know, late 2010s, Dirk Nowitzki, my favorite player, was in the tail end of his career, and Dirk and Kobe always had this respect. Dirk hit a fadeaway for the game winner against the Lakers. Yeah. Kobe was on the sidelines right there in that corner, and, you know, Dirk turns and looks at Kobe, you know, kind of getting his approval, you know, taps him. Kobe taps him on the, on the backside, and Kobe says, you know, hell of a shot. And that was one of my favorite Kobe moments because, you know, it's like that respect between two athletes, which any of us, you know, respect between two people, you know, and the admiration and this passion, like Zion said, and all that. that was, you know, just one of my favorite moments. And then just recently, him being on the sidelines, like even this year, you know, he has that mama mentality, and he was, you know, learned Slovenian to talk to Luka Doncic on the sidelines, talk a little bit of smack and trash to him, and, you know, Luka's like laugh, and that wasn't an inbound pass, and just little stuff like that to show the lighter side of Kobe Bryant, you know, because he has that mentality, that, you know, that super, like, you know, I want to go out there and win, I'm all business, but, you know, he was definitely, you know, more than that with the, you know, doing the Deer basketball and getting the Oscar for that, and, you know, trying his hand at other things and coaching his daughter Gianna's team, and it was so much more. And a lot of my favorite moments for Kobe just happened off the court when he was just being himself and appreciating the game and seeing, you know, other players out there.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys like to add?
There's a couple more things too, like when Matt Barnes was inbounding it, and he and Kobe's just standing there like completely just not phased. Or when, like, I saw another video, it was like Chris Rock is like joking, and Kobe's just, I mean, Chris Rock's one of the funniest people, and Kobe just not even listening.
Or what about at the free throw line years back, him and Gerald Wallace talking smack to each other, and Kobe says, "I'll bet you, what did he say, $500,000 I'll make this free throw," and he sinks the free throw. Man, like the confidence on that guy.
Yeah, and it was just really cool seeing all the videos that everyone was posting about just things that I didn't even know about Kobe, or like videos of like, oh, I didn't even know he did that. You know, I think in a way, I think everyone just kind of came together in unity and just appreciating him. I thought that was just, you know, something that was really cool to watch him, to see unfold.
Yeah, that inbound play, that Matt Barnes inbound play, I've watched that so many times. And he just was not phased. Like,
there's no way
pumping
I
it right
could
in
do
his
that.
face. Yeah,
I mean, no matter how prepared you are for that, you're still most people flinch anyways. It's insane.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here at the Solano College Sports Network. I'd like to thank Zion, Cesar, and Brian. I'm Tony Dehzad, and we'll see you next time.
If you are interested in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether you're commentating a live game
or hosting your own TV show,
or working behind the scenes, then this is the class for you.
For more information, contact Greg Poff, that's me, at solano.edu.
we hope to see you here next semester, and remember,
it's more than just sports, it's an education.